Hi everyone, this is County Executive Joe Parisi and welcome to this edition of Parisi in the Park. Today I'm here with Engagement and Visitor Services Manager Lael Pascual, and we're at Lunney Lake Farm County Park. We're going to talk with Lael today about everything this park has to offer. Maybe you know of this park, maybe you've been here and enjoyed it. If you haven't yet, we hope to make it easier for you to come on by and enjoy one of Dane County's finest parks. So Lael, the main building at the park is the Lussier Heritage Center. Could you tell us a little bit about the center and the events that go on here?
Sure, absolutely. So the Heritage Center is our major events facility that we have here, and we like to think of it as our land and water education center for our whole department, the Land and Water Resources Department. So with that, we have private rentals that we do. So there's, banquets, weddings, meetings, retreats, and then we also have a wide variety of public programs that we're putting on. So our public programs and events are all housed out of the Heritage Center for Dane County Parks and for a lot of our land and water resources activities. So that might be, coming out for a talk or workshop, like our pollinator workshops, and it could be coming out for a different night hike event. We do some luminary walks. We have a lot of kids activities like learn to bike and learn to fish. We also have a paddle in the park series that is not happening at the Heritage Center, but through the Heritage Center. So we pick different areas throughout the county where we're meeting up and having a community paddle event out there. And folks can bring their own boats or they can rent our boats, and we go out and have a really good time, just kind of learning how we can utilize our waterways and connecting people not only to our parks and our natural areas, but also to our waterways.
Nice. And I've been to a number of events at the Heritage Center. It's a great place to, some people have a gathering where they're giving talks, weddings, celebrations, that sort of thing. So again, it's really close to Madison, but this great atmosphere. And when the weather's nice, you can do indoor and outdoor on the back patio too. Yeah,
absolutely. We just had our Environmental Fun Fair, which is our largest event out of the Heritage Center that we do each year. And we utilize the downstairs lower level where we have our big prairie mural of our park. And then we utilize the solar shelters and the back patio. So we have all sorts of different activities going on for families to come out and enjoy.
Well, in the background, we can see some of the campers and people enjoying the campground out here at Lunney Lake Farm Park. Lael, as we continue our walk, could you tell us a little bit about camping here and how people do that and how big, etc., the campground is?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have just under 50 campsites here at the campground. We have electric sites and non-electric sites, and they're really popular. We have a lot of folks out. They come out for, just to camp recreationally. We have folks that come out for different sporting events, big events that might be hosted at like the Lion Energy Center, like CrossFit games. We get really full for things like that. So it's nice to have a good mix, and there's a lot for folks to do that when they're staying out in our campground. They can, utilize our hiking and biking trails. Dog park permits are included in their stay, so they might utilize the dog park or go over to the disc golf course. So it's a really nice central campground that we have here, and the only one that's in Madison for our Dane County Park campgrounds.
Yeah, and that's an interesting thing. I mean, we're out here, it feels like in the middle of nowhere in the country, but we're actually in the city of Madison. This park is really close to major population centers, but you feel like you're out in the country.
Right, and I think that's what's really nice about this park too, is it's so connected. We, like you said, we have the connection over to McFarland, but we see folks using the trails to get, from Madison out here to the park, or from McFarland in. We have the Cap City Trail, so folks are coming over from Fitchburg and Verona, tying in from some of the other state trails. So it's really nice connection and central hub to everything.
That's great. So with the campground, if someone's interested in maybe bringing their camper here and camping, how do they go about that?
Yeah, so we do all online reservations. So they can go online to our website, reservedane.com, and once they're on there, they'll create an account, set that up, and then they go ahead and make a reservation. The office is also available for questions or anything like that.
Right.
So if someone has a question, they can always call us, but the easiest way is just to go online to our reservation system.
So Lael, there's so much going on at this park, and especially in the main area when you first pull in. What else does the park have to offer that people might not be aware of when they're up at this main part where the main parking lot is?
Yeah, so separate from the campground and Heritage Center area, if you drive over down Libby Road, we have kind of our larger park area, and that would be home to our 3 park shelters that are available for different family gatherings, birthday parties, graduation parties, family reunions, weddings, all sorts of different events, and those are really nice. We have 2 that you can see the water from, so it would be shelter 2 and 3. 2 actually has a pier right off of it, which is really popular for our fishing tournaments and different activities like that. We also have a really cool observation tower in this park, so it's open and free to go up between dawn to park close, and that observation tower, you can go up on top, and our kids programs love it and the public love it because you can actually see the Capitol from the top of the tower, which is really neat, and then you kind of remember, right, how close we really are to downtown.
So Lael, we're walking up toward one of our solar shelters, and by solar shelters we mean the entire roof of our shelter is made by solar panels. And folks who come out here will notice there's a lot of solar when they look around. Could you tell me a little bit about what's going on out here in regards to solar power?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, so we have these really unique solar shelters is what we like to call them. So like you said, the roofs are totally solar panels. They're really thin glass material that allows a lot of light flow through, but they're also seam sealed, so where they come together we have this like 3M tape on them, which makes them weatherproof. So we're able to have events under there when it's raining and storming, which makes it really user friendly, but still not so dark, like you're inside or anything. So that's really nice. They are 2 of our ways of generating the solar energy in the park. We also have solar on top of the Heritage Center and on top of the campground shower house.
Nice.
So all of that generates 90% of the energy needed for the campground and the Heritage Center, and it also runs energy over to our electric car charging station.
Yeah, I mean, it's really nice to be able to walk the walk as far as environmental protection. We know that areas like this are so important because they need to be preserved, sometimes restoration, taken care of for people to enjoy, but as we know all too well now, taking care of the climate is necessary too on a much broader scale. And so that's why we're so excited about what's going on at this park. We're excited that Dane County has invested heavily as we look at our responsibility to reduce greenhouse gases. Dane County government just became the 4th county government in the nation to offset 100% of the electricity we use in all of our facilities with renewable energy. So it's part of our mission, it's baked in, and it's really good to see it in action right here at Lunney Lake Farm Park.
Absolutely, and the public is really glad about it. Our campground users, we get numerous comments about how nice it is to be able to come to a campground that's run on solar energy, renewable energy, same with our Heritage Center users, so it's great to have that connection.
Excellent. And what we found is solar is kind of contagious. When people see folks using it, they think, oh, well, maybe I could do that, or maybe we could do that. So thanks for all that you do here. Thanks for the education, because doing it is one thing, all of the conservation, but making it accessible and available to people and educating our next generation about the environment is one of the most important things we can do right now. So Lael, you've been with the county for a number of years now in a few different positions. You're kind of climbing the ladder, as it were. Could you tell us a little bit about your experience working in Dane County, kind of what you've done, and what it's like, kind of a day in the life in the Land and Water Resources Department?
Sure, absolutely. So I started out as a park ranger with Dane County Parks, and then moved over to the Lussier Family Heritage Center manager role, and now I'm the Engagement and Visitor Services Manager. So as the Engagement and Visitor Services Manager for the parks, I really like to think of it as the people side of parks. So that means I get to interact with our park visitors in a number of different ways. So that's the education, the outreach, our volunteer program, our park rangers, our folks that have day-to-day contact out in the parks, welcoming our park visitors out. So I really get to work with a lot of different people, which is the most fun. We have really amazing park visitors and users out here, and it's just so nice to get to connect with them, hear their stories, what they enjoy about the parks, why they're here, and why they're going to come back.
Yeah, that's great, because that really reinforces what we try to be mindful of every day, and that these parks belong to the people.
Absolutely.
These belong to everyone, and we have so many riches in natural areas in Dane County's park system that we really do need to do a lot of outreach to make sure that people know about the parks, that they're accessible to as many folks as possible. And thank you for doing that work. It must be incredibly rewarding.
Oh, it absolutely is. You know, we have our over 17,000 acres of parkland, and
Wow.
we see over 4.2 million visitors coming out on an annual basis. So you know, our parks are well loved, and you know, people are giving back through our volunteer program and just coming out and utilizing them. And you know, we have our users are really good. You know, they're really good at cleaning up after themselves. They take care and pride in coming out and utilizing our parks and open spaces.
Yeah, you know, and you mentioned a really important point too, is that we have such a vast amount of parkland that there's no way that we could manage it all ourselves with county employees. And so we have a lot of friends groups of particular parks. And so if people do want to get involved, they have an opportunity to volunteer and get involved and experience the parks. Could you tell us a little bit about friends groups, what they are and what role they play?
Yeah, absolutely. So our park friends groups are amazing. We have just about 20 park friends groups, and they really take pride in ownership of a park by you know, having, some of them have boards and really dedicated group of volunteers. Some even have a couple paid administrative staff, and what their mission is everything related to the park. So that could be fundraising to be able to put in new prairie areas and convert, you know, some farmland to prairie. It could be stewardship work where they're removing, you know, tons and tons of invasives like honeysuckle and buckthorn and burdock. It could be putting on education programs and events like at Schumacher Farm, and having different historical activities happening at, you know, Halfway Prairie Schoolhouse. So we have just a wide variety of different things going on from our friends groups, and you know, there's something for everyone to be able to do.
That's great. And if someone was interested in taking part in a friends group, how would they do that? What would be their maybe first step to exploring that possibility?
Yeah, so they can reach out to our volunteer coordinator, Claire Lamberg, or go on our website, you know, danecountyparks.com/volunteer, and right on there there's a form of interest. They can fill it out, and it asks, you know, a variety of things. You know, what are you interested in doing? How would you like to get connected? And then we can help them get connected with a friends group, or if they want to just volunteer for like some larger special event activities, they'd be able to do that too.
Well, Lael, talking to you about the park and about everything that you do in Dane County and all the activities that go on, it's quite obvious standing next to you that you're passionate about this work and about the outdoors. Could you talk to us a little bit about kind of what this experience is like for you and why you have a passion for outdoors?
Absolutely. So it's, you know, I love the outdoors. I love our natural areas. I love all the wildlife and the people that use them. It really started for me when I was growing up. My mom took us outside a lot. We did a ton of different camping and hiking and, you know, just picnics out in parks. So getting outside was a huge part of, you know, my childhood. I was also in Girl Scouts, and, you know, it really encouraged me to, you know, continue down this path and getting involved in it, and protecting the outdoors and making sure not only that we're protecting them, but that we are being inclusive of everyone, so that everyone has the opportunity to come out and enjoy our parks and our natural areas. And that's really one of my passions, is making sure that everyone knows that they're welcome and that they should feel safe and that they should be able to come out and access these areas.
Yeah, and I can say, you know, from early on, it's always been a passion of yours, and you've always advocated to make sure that children and young people who might not have as easy of access to parks are included in our programming, to make sure that everyone can get here and experience this, especially folks who, you know, may not have if we weren't doing the kind of outreach that we're doing. So thank you for that. I mean, it's not just something you're talking about, it's something that you've been in on the ground floor with.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's, like I said, incredibly important to me, and I just want our whole community to feel that these parks are theirs and that they should be able to come and use them just like anyone else.
Lael, thank you so much for showing us around Lunney Lake Farm Park today. It's been really informative and educational. I'm sure the folks watching it learned a lot, so thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. It's been wonderful.
That's great. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Parisi in the Park.